didn't know there was this much green in the whole galaxy.
Treasure islands. Some people love them, and some people think you are the absolute worst if you use them. Next to the time travel debate, it's probably the most controversial topic in Animal Crossing New Horizons. Because of this, I've avoided using them in the 3.5 years I've been playing Animal Crossing. I figured everything I could possibly want I would just find in a shop, eventually. But even after 3.5 years, there's still so many items that I haven't seen personally on my island. I decided I was done waiting, and I wanted to try out a treasure island or two and just see how I liked it. Today, I'll talk about what treasure islands are, how easy it was to get on one, how easy it was to use them, and just an overall rating of the whole experience. Without further ado, let's get started. I'm sure most of the people watching this know how a treasure island works, but if you don't, let me enlighten you. Treasure islands are not like Nookmile Islands or Cutman Islands. They're islands made by real players. On these islands is a collection of items you can just go and take for free. I do believe there are some islands you have to pay for, but the ones I found were completely free. So if you don't want to pay in-game money or real-life money to visit one, don't worry, payment is not required. I'm not gonna lie, I actually have no idea how players accumulate so much stuff, especially those Nookmile tickets, like what? But I'm not going to ask questions, I'm just gonna enjoy it. If you want to visit a treasure island, here's what you need to know. First, you have to have Nintendo Online. Since you are visiting real islands made by real people around the world, it's required to have Nintendo Online. Then, you'll want to make sure you have a strong internet connection. If you don't, the island you're visiting could crash, and when it crashes, it will send everyone visiting back to their islands. And oh, trust me, it's infuriating when you're literally only 5 feet into the island and someone flying in with a spotty internet connection ruins it for everyone. The next thing you'll need to do is go onto either YouTube or Twitch and find a Treasure Island livestream. Just type in Treasure Island Animal Crossing and you'll get lots of options. The channel I looked at was Shereigna? I don't know actually how to say that, but they're cool. They are literally just a channel dedicated to hosting viewers on Treasure Islands. They even have a website where you can go look at the catalog of islands they are featuring and it'll tell you what's on each of the islands. I'll put a link to their channels and website in the description. I visited both their YouTube and their Twitch channels, and I will say I enjoyed the experience more on Twitch personally. Their YouTube channel only had like 12 island dodo codes, and I feel like because more people are on YouTube, those islands were super busy. Also, the islands featured on YouTube seemed to be harder to visit, just mostly because there were so many people visiting. Meanwhile, the island I visited on Twitch was only 1 of 40 featured. I was even able to go back and visit the Twitch island a second time because it was just me on the island. So, if I had to pick where to look for a treasure island in the future, I'd probably look at Twitch first, but YouTube also works okay. The first island I visited was featured on YouTube and was called Onigashima, and with it being my first treasure island, I was just really amazed at how much there was to take. They even had Nookmile tickets, bells, and turnips to sell. The other island I went to also had Nookmile tickets and bells, so I'm guessing those are a common thing to have on every treasure island, but it was still amazing to me. I will say the first island I kinda just panic grabbed stuff, just because by the time I actually got to look around the island, it had already crashed like 3 times. I think honestly it was because it was more busy on that island, or it could have just been someone who decided to hit the minus button to leave rather than go through the airport. It's fine, it's fine. What I did grab was great though. I grabbed so many Nookmile tickets and just items in general that are harder to come by. The next island I visited, I decided to go to a Twitch island that was less busy so I wouldn't have to worry about people flying in and interrupting me while I was gathering stuff. The island's name was Candy, and it was even more fun than the first island. I got some art I was missing from my museum, I got more tickets, I picked up Celeste items, I collected materials. When I ran out of inventory space, I even flew back a second time to gather more stuff. The nice thing about these treasure islands is it gives you an opportunity to get things on your island that are more rare, expensive, or just hard to get a hold of. When you can only buy 5 things every day from the Nook catalog back on your island, it makes collecting things hard. But if I want to get 40 crescent moon chairs from a treasure island, no one's stopping me. These islands are also nice for helping to fund projects you're working on around your island. Don't have 2 million bells to put towards your house? Don't worry, you can just pick up bell bags on one of these islands. Basically, any money issue or lack of items become a thing of the past if you just visit one of these islands. All in all, I would say that the overall experience I had using a treasure island was positive, but I feel like the treasure island definitely has its place. If it's your first time playing Animal Crossing New Horizons, maybe you don't want to just go and get everything you need to beat the game right away. Maybe you should actually play the game and try to earn everything for real. I feel like there's a certain feeling of accomplishment when you do that. But if you are seriously on a time crunch or it's not your first time playing the game and you're just resetting your island, I would say go for it. I feel like, especially if you're playing again after the first time, you should be able to speedrun it. You've already put in the effort before, you shouldn't have to do it again if you don't have to or don't want to. All in all though, whatever your opinion is of treasure islands, I think it's important to not criticize those who actively use them and like them, because all in all, Animal Crossing is just a game. It's not that serious, y'all. And if the joy of collecting things on treasure islands is what's keeping some players on the game, I'm all for it.